What's going on, everyone? This is Sulky, and New Horizons has just dropped a new update today, as you can see over here. With this update comes little tweaks to events that we have already seen in the past, including International Museum Day, which a lot of people did not like. As well as the wedding season, which was actually quite nice because of all of the new items that it offered. So in this article that is on Nintendo's website, it lets you know when the events are taking place and some of the things that you can get out of it. Before we get into what is going on with these events, I also want to bring to your attention that right now on Twitter, New Leaf versus New Horizons is trending. Now, fans of the game are pretty disappointed with how New Horizons has been handled so far, making arguments about the game not being complete as opposed to New Leaf that offered so much more that New Horizons hasn't even gotten to yet. So fans are pretty disappointed and took to Twitter today after hearing about the new update. Naturally, a lot of them were really upset that not much has changed in the first year, including their lack of a celebration for the 1-year anniversary. We did see a little cake and things like that, but regardless, nothing really big happened. As you can see from things like this tweet, a lot of people are just talking about the lack of content in New Horizons, arguing that it seems like an incomplete game and that New Leaf was so much better because it had content that made you want to play for years and years and years, whereas New Horizons is kind of like just looking forward to what new update comes next because there isn't enough going on in the game to keep you that interested in it. So this is what fans are saying. So now let's go into what is actually going on in this new update that's coming, and then we'll talk more about this New Leaf versus New Horizons issue that's going on right now on Twitter and what my opinions on it are as well. So first on this list, we see that May Day is going to come from April 29th to the 7th, where you're going to be able to go to the airport and get your tickets and plan your trip to do a maze and see Rover. As you can see, there he is in the back. The island has changed. Last time I remember, Rover was actually on flat land close to the rock on the beach when you finally met up with him. So the maze has changed. Next on this list is International Museum Day, going from May 18th to the 31st. And you're going to do the same thing that you did last time, where you go around the museum and collect stamps. And once you finish that, you were rewarded with an item relevant to fossils, fish, and insects. Now this one does include art this time around, and it looks like they've also changed the way that the cards look. Moving forward to wedding season, which is the entire month of June, you're going to do the same thing you did last time, where you go to Harv's Island and take photos for Reese and Cyrus because that is their anniversary. It does look like we are getting some new items here. We can see a new wallpaper, and then of course over here, which is interesting because this is actually coming from Nook Shopping instead of Cyrus, some new nuptial items are coming in, including a bell, a ring pillow, and a door plate. Other than that, it does look like we are getting some new clothing. I could see some stuff up here as well, including a crown and a cape. So there's that. And then on top of that, they're also going to be giving us some new seasonal items in the Nook Shopping app during May and June. Looks like we're getting stuff for Mother's Day, cheese rolling, which I don't even know what holiday that is, but it looks like we are getting some sort of wheel of cheese right here from this photo, and more. Now I have no idea what the and more is. We can see a new flag over here, as well as this is actually a little interesting to me. This is a house that is not in the game right now. I looked through all of the exteriors for you just to make sure, but this house is not here. It does look a little bit like Rowan's, but the door is different. So I don't know if this means we're going to see a completely new villager in the future, or if they're going to revive one of the older villagers. We'll just have to wait and see, because I have no idea whose house this is. And then we just have some basic information about how to update the game when April 28th arrives. New Horizons did promise us, I think, 2 years of updates with this game. So this is them showing us that they are continuously updating the game. However, I mean, it is just for the most part new items that are being added in, and not to compare it to Pocket Camp or anything like that, but Pocket Camp is seriously way more advanced in their new items. But I do want to go back to Twitter. As you can see right here, New Leaf is trending. And I think what a lot of people are upset about is that these are just minor, meaningless updates that are coming to the game. The game came to us unfinished. And with that was not a lot of content. I have talked about this in the past. You can check out my video right there, but it just seems like this game is missing a lot of the soul that New Horizons had. There was much more emphasis on relationship building in that game that we just don't see now. Everything is super hollow and very, very much focused on decorating only. And even with that, people are talking about how there's still not a lot of customization, even though this is primarily a decorating game. In the past, you know, we were able to update buildings based on the theme we were going for on our island and things like that. And people are just saying, you know, it's a little frustrating to see that that is not in the game. We can also see from this tweet right here a lot of other things that New Leaf offered us we are not seeing in New Horizons, including fruits. It's a little odd that we no longer have durians, lemons, lychee, mango, persimmons, bananas. You know, we could also see the trailers that allowed you to get items. I feel like the closest that we've gotten to this right now is with the release of those amiibos that offered us new items that those villagers are associated with. Also, Wolfblink. Maybe that's whose house it is. I don't know. That is something to consider, that perhaps, you know, some of the villagers that were missing from older games might come back to this one. We also see Kappa. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but there was a way to go and travel to another island to get some exclusive fish and bugs, which is really cool. It was a nice opportunity to get off of your own island. Obviously, we can go and visit our friends or go to Mystery Islands, but it's a little bit different. Mystery Islands, of course, are offering you the opportunity to find a villager for a hunt and maybe get some, you know, materials if needed, but there really isn't much to it other than that. So, I mean, honestly, my opinion on it is, yes, I do think that there is not enough content for New Horizons to be a sustainable game that you play for years and years and years. I'm already burnt out on the game. I haven't touched Animal Crossing in a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. I'm just feeling like even if you try and break it down to its core, there's still not enough to keep you going with the game. Yes, you can look for creatures and attempt to get villagers that you want, but it doesn't really go past that. I think there are a lot of treasure islands out there right now that allow you to get the items that you need for decorating, and that's kind of hindered my ability to want to continue playing just because everything's so easily accessible now, and just because there's not much to it. Once you've decorated your island, yeah, you can restart, and yeah, that'll give you a rush for a little bit, but based on what the game is, I don't see myself continuing to play it too much longer. Yes, I'll still keep you updated on what is going on in the Animal Crossing world, but I've also moved on to other games that I find fun. So with all of that said, I played New Leaf for years and years and years and was excited to play it each time. Whereas right now, I'm pretty burnt out on New Horizons. I'm not particularly too interested on the couple of new items that we're getting. I think that in order for the game to be revived, it would need to bring back some of its core identity that it had in previous games, including that relationship building that I had mentioned before. All of that said, I do think Nintendo should probably take a look at what is going on Twitter right now. The fact that New Leaf is trending right now is super, super interesting to me. So I'd love to see if anything new came out of it and if they have anything big in store for this game. Now, that is not to say that everyone is super unhappy with how the game is going. This is just something that's trending on Twitter, and, you know, I happen to think that it's super interesting and somewhat agree with what people are saying. You listen, New Leaf and New Horizons don't have to be identical, that's for sure, but New Horizons does need to come out with new and engaging ways to retain its fan base. Now, with all of this said, I do think that this channel is going to take a turn very soon because we have been focused primarily on Animal Crossing and Switch games. I'd like to move the channel into another direction, but that is all for another video. But right now, I want to know, how do you feel about the new update, number one? And number two, how do you feel about this New Leaf versus New Horizon rhetoric going on Twitter right now? Do you like one better than the other? Do you feel like New Leaf is more engaging? Do you feel like New Horizons is still keeping you entertained? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more gaming content. And I'll see you in the next video.